Okay. Yo, what's going on YouTube? I'm Rory with Roar Sports Media, and today we have a special episode. We're talking with LoneStar Football Podcast, my friends who originally brought me on their channel to help me out. I want to do a live stream with them because things are going awry in Texas. Oh my goodness. But Cody, can you introduce what you guys do?
Yeah. So my name is Cody Johnson. My co-host is Cody Wolf down there. We are just basically a Cowboys and Texans YouTube channel. We started this off season, still fairly new. Where we just, we do deep dive in on what's going on with the teams, both teams, of course, both Texas teams. And it's just, that's just kind of the extent of what we do.
Cool. Cody, can you go into your Cowboys fandom, I guess?
Oh, yeah. Unfortunately, been following this team pretty much since birth. I was just a shade too young to really enjoy the 90s glory years. I've been sitting there and following this ragtag bunch of underachievers and, pretty much since the mid-90s. So it's been I wish I could say it's been a great ride, but it really hasn't been. There's not much else I can do except for that.
I think we're all pretty much in that same boat except this guy right here. Like, I think that our teams have just not been fantastic. Actually, Cody Johnson, the Texans have been pretty good. They've been going to the playoffs, but I mean, the Cowboys have not been what you'd expect from the Cowboys, since Jimmy Johnson, really. You guys had that Super Bowl, but it's been not what you would want, what you think from America's team, So first of all, let's get into Texans. Cody, bro, what is going on?
Well, the rain's over. We finally got the chin out of town. Going into the season, I predicted an 0-3 start. We started off 0-4. Bill O'Brien completely lost the locker room. I did a video of this the other day. He was fighting with staff members, coaches. He got into an argument with J.J. Watt and Anthony Weaver, our defensive coordinator, on the practice field in front of everybody, told them they sucked, and then that's just when J.J. Watt had enough. And
what?
yeah, J.J. said something back and was like, you're not a good coach, essentially, is what he said to him. And then he went to Cal, and then that's kind of where Cal finally put his foot down. And, finally he's gone, man. He you just mentioned earlier, we've been making the playoffs, but essentially we've been making the playoffs under O'Brien because of two things. The first two, horrible divisions, like two of the top 15 worst divisions in NFL history. We had Brock Osweiler and I'm forgetting his name, backup quarterback for the Patriots right now, Brian Hoyer. We made the playoffs with those guys. We had the 30-0 playoff loss with Hoyer. We beat the third-string-led Connor Cook Raiders and then lost to the Patriots in the second round. And then after that, Rick Smith grants O'Brien with Watson. Those are the two things that have been winning us the division. It's just under Bill O'Brien, I don't know how much y'all pay attention to offensive DVOA, but it's been average to way below average with or without Watson. That's just the stat for efficiency on offense, and it's been average with, a young, great quarterback. And, in my opinion, we can talk about him if y'all want.
Yeah.
Say again.
I honestly feel bad for Deshaun, man. Like, I love him coming out of Clemson. And to be honest, I don't know how the Bears did not pick him over Trubisky. Like, what I was following that draft, and I was hearing all this Trubisky talking, like, he has 11 starts in college. Like, what the hell? Deshaun Watson just won a national championship. Like, what the hell? Like, what is, like, the Bears?
Over scouting, they overthought that process.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. Like, that GM. Wow. Lordy. But, dude, Deshaun's great. And I think we all can agree to that in this thing. He is a special player, but like he doesn't have really much around him to really, really help him. Like you guys picking up David Johnson. I mean, he's not a bad player, but he's not worth the contract that you guys had him on, dude. It's
What the compensation we gave for him.
I don't know, dude. If you want to go into a little bit of Deshaun, but like he's amazing. He's good.
Dude, he is. And, there's some things he needs to work on. Like he holds onto the ball too long. Every Texas fan knows that. He has trouble picking up blitzes at times, which he's gotten better at to an extent this season. He's great, but the offensive line just got invested in last season. And offensive lines, this is the first year under the O'Brien tenure, which he's gone now, but we've had all 5 starters for 2 years in a row.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So like that the offensive line takes time to mesh for sure, almost to an extent of 3 years essentially. But it's just like without the offensive line, you had Hop, which was a top 3 receiver for a young quarterback. Trade him away. You go trade for Brandon Cooks, who's on the decline and has a concussion problem, and you trade a second for him. You go and get Laramie Tunsil, which was an overpay, but I would do it again because we put ourselves in that position. It's just for the offense, it just hasn't been there. And, we sacrificed the defense to go get all these offensive pieces. Jadeveon Clowney, letting DJ Reader, y'all know about that. Just letting all these guys go. Kareem Jackson, we didn't even offer anything to. We just let him walk, and he was on our team for almost 10 years. It's just the team is not overly talented. There is talent on the team. Like you just said, we traded for David Johnson past his prime, but he actually looks kind of spry this season. He looked – like he lost like 2 steps last year, right? But he looks kind of this season. But Bill O'Brien continued to run him up the gut instead of outside where he excels. So it's just there's talent there for sure. It's just we definitely need the coaching or the next coach, whoever it may be, to come in and put it all together. So it's just, he's great. Watson's great. It's just the talent hasn't been necessarily around him.
Right. And I when I was listening to that guy talk, you guys getting rid of Dwayne Brown, right? The left tackle.
Yep.
You guys getting rid of him, and they're only paying him $11 million a year. You're paying Laramie Tunsil $22 million a year, and you gave up 2 first rounds for him, man.
In a second.
That's insane, bro. Like oh my god, the ineptitude is amazing, dude. Like, dude, I was just like thinking how bad of a manager you have to be, like, to get to that position. Like, dude, my GM brain was literally just like, I was sitting in bed last night just looking at the ceiling, just like, how does that happen? But oh my god. Oh, it's so bad. But, I think that the future is bright for Houston. You guys clearly have a team that can make the playoffs. You guys have a good core. And it's going to be a rough next couple of years because the draft is not going to be there. But you're going to have to go into free agency. But you're going to have to really make it work because of signing Deshaun for, how much was it, 100 and something million?
Yeah, I'm blanking off the top of my head the number, but it was a pretty penny. Yeah,
it was a big, big contract. And, like, having to work with that, and then, it's going to be, I think it's going to be a rough couple of years for Texas. But like I said, if they do sign Eric Bieniemy, it's going to have to be like for like a Matt Rule type contract. It's going to have to be like a 6-7 year contract because you're not going to be able to really like get what Matt Rule, not Matt Rule. By the way, I do love Matt Rule in Carolina right now. Wow. But Eric Bieniemy, you're not going to get a good judgment of what he can do for the next 2 years if you do sign him. Right. Just because, man, like Lordy. Cody, is there anything that you want to say about your Texans, man?
Just looking towards the future, it's just we have talent to maybe dig ourselves kind of out of this hole. I don't think it's necessarily to an extent of making the playoffs. Maybe we can get 8-8, hopefully. We don't have a first or a second, so Miami's loving us right now where we're at. But just looking to the future, I'll say real quick, I'm not on the Bieniemy hype train. I would rather go a guy like Rob Sale. Arceo, 49ers DC. But
There you go.
yeah, that's just kind of where I'm at. For right now during the season, I just want to see new stuff. I want to see Tim Kelly because all these guys are either coaching for their jobs or playing for their jobs. Like
Right.
Brandon Cooks, David Johnson, the new coaching staff has no ties to them. They could be gone after this season.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Mhm.
I do love that 49ers defensive coordinator, man. Dude, that guy gets hyped. Like, dude,
Yeah. He was a coach here in 2010. He was a linebackers coach, so we already had that connection.
Okay, there you go, dude. Like, he did. I'm not gonna lie. When I was watching him in the Super Bowl and like him just like freaking the hell out, I'm like, bro, I'd run through a fucking brick wall for him. Bro. Like,
Right.
You're cool. No, but yeah, dude, I like him too, for real.
Yeah.
Good. I think he'd be a good hire. I think he'd be a very Mike Vrabel type hire, like a very like hands-on players coach, and that they're gonna fight for him type coach, you know?
Right.
Because I don't think Vrabel's the kind of guy where he's like, yeah, X's and O's, yada yada yada. I think that he just gets the best out of his players, man. And in a lot of ways, I think Dabo Swinney was the same way for Deshaun in Clemson. I'm not saying Dabo's a bad coach or like doesn't know his shit, but I think that connection-wise, man, he gets the most out of his players. And I think Deshaun would love that. I think that he would thrive in that environment that he built. But yeah, that's the Texans, man. Wow. But I mean, you guys can make a bounce back. Any team can. It's just gonna take a little bit, I think. But let's get into those Cowboys, bro. You guys got by the Browns. Let's talk about it. Cody, I'm gonna let you start talking about it because you're the guest here, bro.
Well, man, honestly, it's a combination of two things: defensive ineptitude, the likes of which I've never ever seen in a professional team. I'm not just talking Cowboys; I'm talking NFL.
Yeah,
Watching the league, and turnovers. There's nothing that's going to sink your ship faster than turning the ball over. Zeke all of a sudden has developed a fumble issue. I don't know if he hung out with Tiki Barber in the offseason. I don't know what's going on. But, it always seems to be something with Zeke every single year. And this year it's fumbles, whatever. I expect him to get past it because historically speaking, even at Ohio State, never a problem of his. But just defensively, I think a lot of Cowboys fans who know their stuff, they didn't expect Mike Nolan to come in and field this top 5 doomsday defense powerhouse. We expected a unit that was going to play complementary football, that was going to give up a lot of yards, and give up a lot of points, but also turn the ball over. Get some takeaways at a pretty decent clip, which has been the Achilles heel for that defense for decades now. So a lot of people were willing to make that trade off because offensively we knew we were going to get what we've been seeing. Getting 49 hung on us by the Browns is nothing short of an embarrassment. That game was 41-14 going into the fourth, and with 3.5 minutes to go, it was 41-38.
Yeah.
It's the most points that Dallas has ever scored in a quarter in franchise history. So offensively, the turnovers, the giveaways are concerning. Dak with the fumble, seems to be good for a fumble or an interception every game. But as much as he's dropping back, averaging 50 pass attempts a game, what do you expect? Any quarterback who drops back that much is probably going to be turning the ball over at least once. But defensively, it's disgusting. And it's filled with dudes who have got paid syndrome. DeMarcus Lawrence, he's a ghost. He's a ghost. We've got a guy who hasn't played football in 5 years in Alden Smith. That's the best player on the defense right now. It's nothing short of pathetic. Of course, losing Chidobe Awuzie and Anthony Brown, the top 2 corners,
for sure.
Help. All of a sudden, the decision to let Byron Jones walk looks a little bit worse, than it did, even considering the mega deal he got, with Miami. But defensively, and Jalen Smith, there's another guy who we just awarded a fat contract to. He's a noted entrepreneur who's got multiple interests outside of football, and that's cool. That's great, man. But I do not see a guy who's got his head in the game. I really don't. So defensively for Dallas, I see a lot of scheme issues. Mike Nolan runs it's known, it's a complicated scheme. They mix a lot of things up, which in a truncated offseason, maybe wasn't the best time to implement that sort of thing. Yeah. You combine that with the general lack of effort across the board from the defensive line to the secondary. That OBJ touchdown run to seal it. I just see guys jogging. And I'm like,
the fact that play worked out to a touchdown was just disgusting, dude.
Yeah.
Like that was I don't want to say lack of effort, but it was just undisciplined as all hell, man. Like I was like, you're letting this man literally just run 15 yards backwards, swoop around, and the entire defense is there. He's running into the teeth of a defense, and no one can touch him. Like OBJ is fast, but he's not that fast, you know.
Exactly. He was
Like,
never guy.
Yeah. My fantasy week is that, so.
Yeah. Now I hear Browns fans like saying like, "Yeah, we're going to the Super Bowl." I'm like, "Oh God, dude." Oh no. Jordan, do you want to jump on Cody's point?
I mean, he's exactly right. The defense is really the big issue. Yes, turnovers on the offense, but Dak Prescott, like he's playing for a contract. He's showing exactly what he's made of. Even when he's down out making mistakes, he can still 27 points in a quarter and just come back and actually bring us back into winning. Those aren't garbage yards, which a lot of people are saying they are. Garbage yards are when you're getting a bunch of yards and you're never going to win the game. Dak Prescott this year is getting a bunch of yards and putting the Cowboys into a position to win the football game. And then the defense floodgate. Just Aldon Smith, 5 years, best defensive lineman, best player on the defense right now. A strong second, Trayvon Diggs. I mean, a lot of times he's getting scored on. People are making really good catches on him. It's just what's going to happen with a talented rookie. Mike Nolan, he runs a complex defense. When you have Richard Sherman, who's probably one of the smartest DBs in the NFL, saying it's a complicated defense, it's a complicated defense.
Yeah.
So, Cody, you're exactly right. And I think we touched on this a lot. The defense is a weak part. I think Jalen Smith, he's trying to do way more than what his skill level is. He needs to play complementary football, play solid football, and I think he'd be a way better linebacker how we were when we went to the playoffs 2 years ago. And so that's, man, right on the money.
So we talked about this in one of our first podcast ever, but we talked about like, dude, the Cowboys strayed away from their real identity of running the freaking ball down your throat, man. Like, well, how many yards has Zeke had in his first 4 games? It's not like anywhere near his normal average, is it?
No, it's not. A lot of that has to do with, of course, trailing by as much as Greenway has been trailing now. I think they're behind only the Jets and the Giants in terms of time spent with the lead, through the first 4 games of the season. So, they have been away from the running game. Also, injuries to the offensive line. They've already lost the starting center. Both tackles are out for the year, and it's just, Connor Williams is not the answer at left guard. He was always a more natural fit at tackle, and we have tackle issues, but the coaching staff doesn't want to seem to try him there. I got no idea why.
Yeah.
He played tackle at Texas, but hey, what do we?
And he was a pretty good tackle too. It was really good. I remember going to the draft about him.
He had the pedigree, but I see the same old Cowboys. Jason Garrett's gone, Mike McCarthy's in, but I see the same team. I see the same team that I've been seeing for years now.
Yeah. I mean, I think you're right about the Jalen Smith pick. The point about that, like, dude, all I see is him out doing stuff. Like, I actually never see him like on social media training and like all that. On like not like a lot of players where their single-minded focus is on the game. In a lot of ways, they have their charities and their stuff, but Jalen just seems like he's like more like a politician type of like environment.
It's eyewear, it's all sorts of stuff. Which, like I said, that's great, man. But I'm sorry, I don't think those endeavors are paying you what the Dallas Cowboys are paying you right now. Okay, I'm pretty sure the Dallas Cowboys are putting more money in your pocket than that is, and so I'm not saying ignore those things, but perhaps reprioritize. Because you're looking like garbage.
Right.
Like garbage. And I don't know. I have to say he had that Pro Bowl year a couple of years ago. I know he made it last year, as an alternate. His best year was 2 years ago. I don't know if that guy is really ever going to recover from that injury he suffered at Notre Dame, because his lateral quickness and agility, it is still lacking. From sideline to sideline, the guy just doesn't have it. Downhill, he's a force, and he's a great blitzer, which, of course, we don't use him really as much, big shocker there. But this guy needs big defensive tackles in front of him to keep the linemen off of him so that he can, have the space and the room to make some plays. He hasn't been afforded that. I also see an undisciplined player who's got, to be frank, a very low football IQ,
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Misdirection all season long, and that guy right there, he's he takes the bait every time, it seems.
So me and Jordan were talking about it. I think he misses Leighton Vander Esch, man. I think those two complement each other so well. Like without them, the defense just kind of falls apart because I feel like they're like you said, they're I guess personal skills just mesh. Like Jalen is a straight down the hill, very fast, very instinctual linebacker. I think Leighton's I think for me personally, just watching, I think he's a better coverage linebacker, better in space. But you guys missing him is a huge thing. And then Sean Lee's still out too, right?
Yeah, he is. And that's the other thing, maybe missing Sean Lee a little bit in terms of ability. He's obviously at the end of the year, where that defense really missing him right now is getting guys straight and telling everybody where they need to be.
He's the captain.
Exactly. Sean probably got a future in coaching in front of him if he's
for sure.
Line.
Oh yeah.
The guy's a wizard on the field, and so having him out, he's not the all-pro he used to be, but that defense definitely misses that mind.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, dude. The Cowboys, they have the talent. They have it there. They have whatever they need. Of course, they need to solidify that defense a little more. But like, you guys are there. I mean, from a talent aspect, those wide receivers are insane, bro. You got 2 number ones. Can I have one, please? I mean, I love Tyler Boyd. I like T. Higgins, but I could use me a CeeDee Lamb, please. I'll have one. But I mean, you guys are there, dude. That's another thing about McCarthy. I think that he's pass happy, man. He's just a pass happy coach in general. I mean, look at Aaron for all those years up in Green Bay, dude. Just slinging the ball. Who were the running backs during that time?
Eddie Lacy.
Yeah, Eddie Lacy was really the biggest name that they had there in Green Bay.
Yeah, it's just amazing. I think he gets away from the run too fast. I get that you guys have lineman issues. Everyone has lineman issues, dude. Yeah. I'm a Bengals fan. I know about lineman issues. Yeah. Everyone has lineman issues, but you got to commit to the run, dude. You got to take that time off that clock. You got to keep the defense at least trying to guess. Because if they know Dak's going to go back and pass the ball 50 times a game, they're like, hell yeah. Going to go pad my stats real fast. It's I didn't hate the McCarthy pick as a head coach, but now we're seeing that old, like, the Green Bay before when he was there. He's pass, and maybe I'll try to run on, first down every now and then kind of thing. And I don't think that's I don't think Dak Prescott's Aaron Rodgers, but I think he's pretty good. I think he can win games. I think he's a well above average quarterback, but he's not Aaron Rodgers, where you can just, Aaron, we're gonna toss the ball 6 times this game, and you're gonna be our run game also. So we're gonna try and figure it out. But yeah. So guys, who are your college teams down in Texas?
For me, it's Baylor.
I know you're a Baylor's fan, yeah.
Right.
So obviously, I see Jordan here is Texas. I'm Boomer.
Yes.
Sooner all the way.
Oh, he's a Longhorns fan too. Dude. So clearly these two programs are not where they think that they're going to be at this point in the season. Of course, you guys just beat Texas, but just barely, man. Just barely. Dude. Boomer Sooner, dude. What was going on those first two? Not first 2 weeks. Week 2 and 3.
Well, I mean, Lincoln Riley isn't gifted with another NFL high draft pick. That's what it boils down to. The guy walked into Baker Mayfield, who came in under Stoops. Stoops was there for Mayfield. Okay, and then guess what? Kyler Murray transfers over. He was a highly touted recruit who started off somewhere else. Hey, Jalen Hurts, same story. We saw what he did at Alabama. Now Lincoln Riley finally has his first homegrown, quarterback recruit. Average. Of course, he's still young. I'm not going to sit here and say this guy's collegiate career is over, but average. And, of course, as per usual with Oklahoma, no defense. Alex Grinch, the defensive coordinator they hired from Ohio State, the dude was supposed to come in and fix stuff and turn it around, hasn't.
Oh, wow.
So, I don't know if Lincoln Riley isn't the recruiter that Stoops is, if they just don't know how to play defense in Norman. But I wish we could play Texas every game and not Iowa State or Kansas State, because Texas seems to be
Yeah.
Dude, can I touch on something real quick? I just, talking about Lincoln Riley, I've seen a lot of Texans fans are talking about Lincoln Riley for the head coaching job.
Mm-hmm.
And I just got a hard pass. I'm literally only taking him as maybe an offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
Like, he wouldn't leave to do that, but it's not looking great over there right now either. So maybe he doesn't have that much longer over there.
No, like, dude, I was never really on the Lincoln Riley hype train. Like, for me personally, I think he's a good coach, but you're right. He
faltered in all
the
well, that's maybe an Oklahoma thing too. All the big moments, big games.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, dude. Like, wow. And then I was telling Austin here about the Longhorns. I'm like, bro, if you guys like had any sort of defense, you guys would be close to national champions, man. Like, dude, you want to talk about it?
No.
Okay.
Dude, living in Oklahoma's shadow, it just gets old. I mean, we go from Charlie Strong now, and Charlie Strong, I was never totally behind him, and
I got Tom Herman now.
and I was all for Tom Herman, and then that, what the hell, man? We just switched defensive coordinators last year to this year, and what do we get? We haven't had a good defense since the national championship in 2006. So something's got to give. Somebody's got to do something. All these millions of dollars being spent for these coaches that are so good, and here we are where they're in our hand.
Do you think the Big 12 just holds like coaching camps where instead of teaching tackling drills, they just had pillow fights? I think that's what happened, dude, because I just
Probably. I agree.
Defense is not a priority in the Big 12, dude. Dude, I was telling him TCU is the only team in that conference. Like, you know what, guys? We're gonna try and play a little defense.
Yeah. And now Oklahoma State looks like they're going to take the conference. I mean,
oh my God!
At this point, it's anybody.
It's
My dark horse is Kansas.
of course, yeah.
Kansas has got a chance this year.
Yeah, Les Miles.
Oh, man. I mean,
Man.
and they could definitely have a shot.
Baylor's kind of shot. Anybody.
Dude,
If
Baylor.
that rule would have stayed at Baylor, it would have been Baylor
yeah.
this year.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. That was a good
I like Aranda, but of course, I love Rule. If he would have stayed, great. I would have wished James Lynch would have stayed another year. That defense would be ridiculous. Well, Bradley King, who transferred over, the linebacker from Iowa that transferred over, they're all really good. They played a hell of a game versus West Virginia. The offense just was not showing up at all. And, I love Charlie Brewer, but he just ain't that talented from an arm standpoint.
Yeah.
And I've said this last year, and, Cody mentioned it to me last year. He's like a dude that's inconsistent during the game. Like, you have guys that are inconsistent game to game. He is hot and cold during the actual game.
Yeah.
Like, it's just I don't know. He's a trooper. The players love him. The coaches love him. But there's two guys behind him that are much more talented.
Oh, for sure. Dude, Matt Rule, like what I was saying earlier, dude, he is looking like it, man. Like, he's got, bro, he just had a Carolina team knock off Arizona, man. Who was, by the way, we picked Kyler Murray to be in the running for MVP through the first two games because he was lighting up the league, man. He looked great. And for some reason, Carolina just ponied the hell up, dude. Like they're playing hard. They're playing pretty good football for him. And that's without Christian McCaffrey. He's won back-to-back games against. He came. Did he come back against the Lions? I think.
I don't remember. He was out. He played all week 2, and then he was out week 3 and 4, I believe.
Yeah. No, I mean, like, dude, dude, he's a great coach. I think that Carolina's got something special. Matt Rule, I love him.
Dude, both New York teams passed on him.
Yeah.
Like,
wow.
Who passed on Rule for Adam Gase? That's why I don't want to retread for the Texans for one. Stay away from the retreads. But dude, like both New York teams passed on this, and they have a combined record of 0-8. Yeah. So.
Yeah, dude, it's amazing. You guys want to talk a little about New York? Wow, dude, talk about just terrible football, man, between the Jets and the Giants. Like, what the hell is going on there? Wow. I mean, I think the Giants are a lot more competitive than the Jets, but the Jets are a dumpster fire, bro. Like, we were just talking about this.
Lack of talent and lack of coaching. Like, you don't have one or the other. You have bad of both. It's not a good mix.
Yeah, dude. Terrible coaching, like zero, dude. Not zero talent, dude. It's making me depressed just thinking about Sam Darnold's career just being lit ablaze, dude. Just lit on fire, and this kid just kind of like, this is okay. This is football, and it's just kind of like, wow. Could you imagine? I was talking to Jordan. I would have loved to have seen fucking Sam Darnold Cowboys, dude. As a Cowboy, if Dak doesn't resign, like I would love to see a trade for that. That'd be amazing for me. But yeah, the Giants. What the hell, dude? What is going on there? Like they need a receiver bad.
Yeah, defensively they're not awful. If you look at their metrics and you look at their DVOA, they really haven't been bad. They've been average to slightly above average in some metrics, but then you look at the offensive side. Of course, I'll give Jason Garrett some leeway because they did lose Saquon, but they have one touchdown in 4 games. Like,
yeah.
Are you kidding me? Daniel Jones, he hasn't improved at all. That guy is still fumbling the ball, every 12 dropbacks or something like that.
That's an insane rate, dude.
Yeah. He's definitely set the record for most just fumbles, not turnovers, but simply fumbles over a quarterback's first, whatever it is, 20 games of his career now, or 18 or so. So, I feel like they're not completely worthless in terms of outside weapons. Golden Tate obviously is at the end of his career. Losing Sterling Shepard sucks. Evan Ingram has demonstrated that he's got ability. And then I really like Darius Slayton. I think Slayton has got some talent. I really do, especially a deep play guy, down the field. But look at a Jason Garrett-led offense, who doesn't have, an all-pro offensive line like he had in Dallas, with an all-pro running back, with, all-pro weapons on the outside, and he was very average until he turned over play calling duties to Kellen Moore last year. So you put him in a very lackluster situation from a personnel standpoint here in New York, and you get Jason Garrett. That's really what it is. And when you combine that with a first-year head coach who was a special teams coordinator in this offseason, man, it's going to be the Giants and the Jets competing for number 1 overall. And I'll tell you what, if I'm Trevor Lawrence, I'm thinking about pulling a John Elway and an Eli Manning going, don't draft me because I ain't coming.
No. Yep. I mean, and that's so sad to hear, especially whenever I think of the Giants as a storied franchise. I think that I mean, I was telling the boys, for me, they're one of those foundational 4 pieces in the NFL, maybe 5. Giants, Cowboys, Steelers, and probably Denver or Oakland, just because based off the metrics and jerseys sold and stuff like that, they're the popular teams. My wife worked at Fanatics, so she knows the popularity of in the U.S. and abroad, dude. And the Raiders are huge. The Raiders are, for some reason, just sell all across the world. But we got some of our first comments, guys. Yo, Jeski, what it do, dude? Maxo.
Yes, sir.
Adam Gase is so bad. Yeah, I think we can all agree. Mekhi Becton, I love that. I love that pick for a left tackle. I wish he was healthy. I think that he's got a future ahead of him, but he needs a new coach. Oh my God, it ain't it.
I've seen people. Sorry to cut you off real quick. Suggesting O'Brien's going to get that New York Jets job, and if you're the Jets management, how do you go from Adam Gase to Bill O'Brien? Like the fans would go absolutely nuts. You got to go you can't go retread over there in New York.
Yeah, dude, give someone else a shot, man. We'll see what you can do. Like, you ruined the franchise. Sorry. You're not going to get a job here. Not here. No, sirree, not here. Can't sit here. You know?
Yeah. There's a reason Belichick resigned Apken, from the Jets job. There's a reason he coached them for a day and then wrote on an app, I quit.
Yeah. This ain't it. And that's sad, dude, because I think of Jets fans as also another wanting organization that I would love to see win. Frankly, and not to mention, I think their uniforms are pretty fired. Like, I think that they're pretty dope for the last 2 seasons. I love that. I love that darker like green that they went with. Oh, but yeah, they're dumpster fire, dude. If they bring on Bill O'Brien, I'm just gonna start fucking laughing, man. Because I kid you not, Cody. When I watched that video you showed me, dude, I literally just sat in bed, just like, how does this happen? Why? I just went to Madden and started just trading players. But
the first time I've been for the past 3 years. So,
dude, I don't know how you still have hair. I couldn't do it. But I think that I would love to talk about a certain individual, Joey B. Oh, this guy knows. He's all I talk about. I love it.
At work every day, it's Joey B.
He's so likable. Why doesn't everyone love him like I do? Bro. Oh, dude. Dude, have you heard his mic'd up this week? It's fucking amazing. He's so likable, dude.
It is good.
He's straight, dude. That man loves SpongeBob.
Bring it around town.
Yeah, around town. Dude, the thing is, if you go on his Instagram, he's constantly sharing SpongeBob related memes. It's hilarious.
You need to teach him how to slide them.
Oh yeah. He's not very good at sliding, and I would do. Well, I'm just happy that we actually protected him for a game. Honestly, that made me happy. No sacks, or I think that they credited with 1 sack behind the line or something like that, but it wasn't anything crazy. Not a big hit.
How has Jonah Williams looked?
Who's
Jonah
Williams? Yeah. I mean, it's his first year actually starting and playing, so I'm not expecting a world beater, right? I'm not expecting him to just go out and just pancake everyone, right? But played very well. I think PFF had him graded as our best offensive lineman, which, we drafted him top 10 or top 11. So that's what you expect. Everyone else on that line is pretty much, except for Bobby. Oh my God, Bobby Hart. Oh my God. No, except for Billy Price. I think he's our only other first round pick, but he's the most talented of everyone on the line. So it makes sense that he's the best graded from PFF. He is our starting left tackle as far as I can see. Unless we get a top 5 pick next year in next year's draft, then I'm taking Penei Sewell out of Oregon because that kid is a real baller. Dude, if we get top 5, dude, and we get Penei Sewell, I'm just gonna just go out and just start just probably lose my fucking mind, honestly. Dude, I will freak out. But first rookie in NFL history to have 3 back-to-back 300-yard games. He's looked like everything that we'd want to see out of Joe Burrow. He has complete command of the offense. He's making perfectly thrown, feathered balls with touch and accuracy and on time. And I wish that he had better connection with AJ Green, honestly, because it's getting sad up here. Yeah, but Joey B, dude, he's a truth. I know I can sit here and talk all day about him, but I don't want to fangirl too much. Is there anything else you guys want to talk about, guys? I think we have a few more comments from Max, though.
Truth.
I'll touch on Joey B.
Yeah.
Man, don't waste him. Don't waste him. As a Cowboys fan, Ford and I, we've seen that team waste multiple Hall of Fame careers. And Burrow looks as good as advertised, if not better. I couldn't be more impressed with him. I loved his story coming out of LSU. He was an underdog. He had a good year 2 years ago at LSU under the radar. And then last year, the Cinderella greatest story or greatest season in college football history. And then you go to the Bengals, which historically, you guys have had some busts, not a lot of, historical success there. So I know for a fact, like Cody and I, we've been big Burrow fans. We really love what he brings to the table. And, man, I just keep building around him, because, in the next year or two, that guy, Brady's going to be gone. We're talking about the guy who could be, the face of the league, him and Mahomes, Watson, Jackson, those could be the four horsemen, so to speak.
For sure. Dude, if Joey B had at least a decent offensive line, dude, we could possibly be 3-1 right now. I think our differential in loss right now, but out of all of our losses, is only 8 points. We have we're negative 8 points. That's amazing. I think that we have a good future with Joe, and you're right. I don't want to see his career wasted. I predicted 17 years, 3 Super Bowls. That's what I want to see. That is the standard that I'm setting for what I want to see, because that's what he's capable of. He is capable of. He's a Super Bowl. He's a championship quarterback, dude. We've seen it in LSU.
Dude, and then you have, from my perspective, an underrated roster. Definitely need to keep building the O-line, like you said. But, Geno Atkins is a little bit older. You go and sign DJ Reader. You have Carlos Dunlap. Who's the other end? Who was pretty good last year. I don't know who he's doing this year.
So, actually, Carlos just got demoted. Carl Lawson, who is, I think, third in the league right now in sacks, and, I think has 4 or 5 TFLs. He is lighting it up, man.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I think you're talking about Carl Lawson, dude.
Okay.
He is
but that, and then you drafted 2 linebackers, Logan Wilson, and I really liked Akeem Davis-Gaither. He just had a knee injury, I believe.
He's right. He's good.
He's good, awesome. Yeah. So, and then the secondary isn't, Jesse Bates looking good. William Jackson has been good. You have a talented roster. It's just going to take a couple years to connect it all, and you got to keep building it, especially the offensive line. Do not do what the Colts did to Andrew Luck, what it took us to do for Watson. Man, me and Cody, the all draft period said this Burrow was the best prospect QB wise to come out since Andrew Luck. Yeah, and y'all managed to land him. Just continue to build around him. It's just gonna take a little bit of time for sure.
For sure. So we have Maxo lighting up our comment section, guys. I think that he's talking about the Jets. So Greg Roman, is he going to take that job? They need a coach that is bad. Understands the team is bad and needs to be rebuilt. They have the picks, but getting rid of Bell should be the first option. Do you think that they should move off Le'Veon Bell and Jets? I personally would, because of the contract.
Yeah.
Running backs are so easy to find.
So for me, dude, it's hard. It's hard for me to pay running backs. That's why I love the Joe Mixon signing this year, man. It's only, so I think it's across. So we're not paying him his contract yet, but over the next 5 years, we're only paying him $10 million a year, which is not super crazy money, but it's it's not cheap either, but it's not crazy big money.
Yeah. We're paying David Johnson more than that.
Huh?
We're paying David Johnson more than that.
Yeah. That's David Johnson, dude. Joe Mixon's. That's what I'm saying. Joe Mixon, for some reason, worked with the team really well. He was I think he honestly loves Cincinnati, because we're the team that took a chance on him after he punched a lady in the face.
Mm-hmm.
But Cody.
Not only that, but you got to look at the Melvin Gordon situation. I think probably played in favor there. He saw a guy who, Mixon, through no fault of his own, hadn't really been able to produce up to his ability, in offense and behind that line. We're starting to see a little bit of that last week. And I thought, is he really going to be able to hold out for Christian McCaffrey money? No. All that tells me is that he had good representation.
Yep.
Hey, man, here's what other guys have gotten. Yes, this team has some cap room, but don't push your luck.
Yep.
I think he was smart about it.
I think he was too. Let's see, Maxo. Yeah, Burrow's the truth. Get him Sewell. I totally agree. Bro, and he's an Islander. I need it. So why aren't the Bengals trading for David Njoku? I mean,
division rivals.
Yeah, we're not going to get up from the Cleveland Browns. I mean, I agree. I love David Njoku's talent too, really good, but I don't see it happening. Sam Hubbard also really good. He's not as good as Carl Lawson, but he's a good, he'll get you about 4 or 5 sacks a year at least. Cody, we're signing Eric Bieniemy, no doubt in my mind.
So do you want me to kind of talk about that? Why I don't like Bieniemy? And me and Cody have talked about it. It's just like everybody wants him for his offensive prowess, right? Him to work with Deshaun. It's just he's running maybe the smartest offensive mind we have in the NFL right now system. He is not going to be able to come over and run that same system to the extent of Andy Reid. You know what I'm saying? Like I just don't think he's some offensive genius that's going to come over and just light up the league, like Patrick Mahomes has been doing with the Chiefs, of course. Now, again, he plays, but Andy Reid still has final say over these plays and overrides them from time to time. It's just for me, go look at Dabble in Buffalo. He is running his system with Josh Allen right now under a defensive-minded head coach.
Yep.
And that Josh Allen has progressed each year he's been in the league, and now he's lighting it up.
Oh, for sure.
And he's a guy, I would probably take over EB, to be honest, because I know it's his system, and he has been able to – because Josh Allen's not perfect. He has flaws, especially with deep accuracy, and he's molded that system to fit Josh Allen's skill set and that team's skill set. I'm just – for me personally – I want a defensive-minded head coach. I want you to come in and fix the defense, focus on the defense, and then bring in a hotshot OC, like what Shanahan was for the Falcons, what everyone's been doing with the Patriots under Belichick, what's going on in Seattle right now, and I know their defense isn't great right now, but they have Brian Schottenheimer, and they're letting Russ do his thing, and they're going off. You don't need an offensive-minded head coach to have this offense succeed. You can do it with an OC. I would rather an OC come in and run his system than conform to someone else's.
Yeah, for sure. And dude, Josh Allen was a project, and they've shown that they can mold a prospect into what could be an MVP because he's having a great year. And if they can do that with a project, could you imagine what he would do with Deshaun Watson? Like, that would be insane.
He also helped develop Tua, if I remember correctly, because he was at Alabama.
Oh yeah.
Forget what year it was. I could be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, I think that'd be a really good hire too. Cody, do you want I think DeBoy or Garrett Jones?
So y'all won't know what's going on with that. Garrett Jones is a guy, he played 6 years in the NFL, I think 3 for the Jags and 3 for the Texans. And then he played 6 years in the Canadian Football League, and he is actively running for the GM spot, like running for Houston Texans GM. Like, he's on all the Facebook pages, on Twitter, getting interviews all the time. I know he works for the team in some capacity. It's not like front office; it's like a liaison or something like that. But he is actively running to be the Texans GM. I don't want him, to be honest. He seems like a good guy. I've interacted with him a little bit. It's just I want someone with some front office experience.
Right.
Ed Dodds out of Indianapolis is who I want. Regarded as one of the best scouts in the league. He was in Seattle a few years ago, and then Chris Ballard poached him because he was that good at scouting. And then the Colts have had great drafts, Darius Leonard, Quentin Nelson, a bunch of guys. But it's just Garrett Jones is just a guy. I think he is kind of feeding off what the fans want, and I don't want someone that's going to be feeding off what the fans want. I want someone that's going to do their own
And
stuff.
so you don't ever let the fans. They can have a say, but don't ever go off of someone who doesn't have the experience of actually running an organization. Let you dictate what you do. So yeah, this Garrett Jones situation was like, no, that's a hard pass for me as well. It doesn't sound like it's fucking like any near smart management. Jordan, Austin, is there anything you guys want to talk about? No,
Good.
Jordan.
Yeah, I think we covered it. I mean, Cowboys need a GM. That's
Yeah.
about it. I mean,
I would take one.
they could definitely shop for a GM and probably be a better football team immediately.
Or just
But we all know about that.
Yeah. Oh man. So
I just want to mention some of that because I meant to ask about it earlier. Both the Cowboys guys in here. Is it safe to say y'all are kind of missing Gerald McCoy up front right now, or not really?
I don't think you can attribute these defensive woes, to one player,
Right, but I mean, would he be helping? Like y'all said earlier, Jalen Smith might need more presence up front because Terry Poe has sucked from what I saw.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
Your 3 technique's going to be shooting a little bit more, than your nose.
Right.
On Terry Poe's been garbage. There's a waste of a free agent signing. It's great that we signed him. Meanwhile, Snacks Harrison was chilling until he linked up with Seattle just now. So it looks like another gross oversight by, Gerald Jones. But, I mean, it's surprising. Tristan Hill has not been the most awful player, this year for Dallas.
He's actually grown quite well.
Yeah.
He was a surprise.
Yeah.
I mean, other than everybody thinks he's dirty, I don't think he is. That's just me. I think that was a bang play.
Tristan, was that guys' first round pick?
It may have been a little, the Gator roll at the end. If I was Chris Carson, I'll put it this way. I'm a Cowboys fan, so obviously we don't care. If I was Chris Carson, I'd be mad as
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So
Tristan Hill was y'all's second round pick last year, though, right?
Yeah.
Because y'all were first.
Right.
But, yeah.
Right.
Yep. Neville Gallimore hasn't. I mean, he's just kind of disappeared. I haven't really seen him. He's just a developer. He's a project right now.
Well,
Yeah.
he's coming out of Oklahoma, so he's learning how to play defense. So just give him a little time, okay?
Exactly.
Yeah, he's got the traits, he's got the talent. He just needs to learn how to actually play. So he can hold that.
Seriously, we've got a Canadian-born NFL defender. Came from Oklahoma. So it's you got a double whammy of inexperience there. So it's
Yeah, that'd be crazy. Guys, is there anything else you guys wanted to cover? We're coming up on 54 minutes. Anything else? Good.
I'm good.
Baby horns down.
Let me speak on this real quick. Sorry. Let me go one more thing since you called it out. And this is actually and maybe Austin agrees with me. I think Tom Herman's probably coached his last season. You can't beat Oklahoma when they're at their weakest, and you were at supposedly a better team than you were last year.
This is supposed to be the team.
This is supposed to be the team to get you back to the playoffs.
Yeah.
Playoff team. You can't beat Oklahoma right now with a freshman.
Yeah.
You're not our coach.
Nope.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all I got to say.
Hey, I mean, we'll see. I mean, college this year is pretty fun. Yeah. That just happened.
Right.
All right, guys. So can you guys shout out your where we can find you at real fast?
So obviously, if you want to go check out the channel, it's LoneStar Football Podcast. I also have a Twitter account that I do a lot of. I post mostly the Texans stuff, a little bit of Cowboy stuff here and there. But it's holy crap, I'm forgetting that. It's whatever. Yeah. It's like LoneStar underscore football or something like that. But just mainly if y'all like listening to us, go subscribe to the channel. Been kind of slow going. I just started a new job. We've both been dealing with some stuff, but we're gonna get back on it here soon.
Yeah, no problem, dude. So you can find him at FB _ LoneStar on Twitter. I got you, bro.
Thank you.
So, Cody, you have any place we can find you, or you just want to go from the YouTube channel?
Yeah, man, just from YouTube.
Cool. Well, guys, I appreciate you watching. This has been our guest, LoneStar Football Podcast, the Codys down there. Appreciate you guys coming up. Woo Pig Suey. Yeah. So appreciate you watching, and welcome to the Roar. Peace. Boom.